Scotland, known for many things: whiskey, golf, unbelievable scenery, tartan, but of course, most of all, some of the most variable, inconsistent and unpredictable weather on the planet. So why not join me for a long bike ride so we can all experience some of exactly that? Not the sexiest things in the world. Hello, good morning, and welcome to what is going to be my first 100, the bike's already on its way, first 100-kilometre ride since I have recovered from injury, and I'm very excited about it. It is a very Scottish day, however. It's kind of warm, but feels like kind of cold. It's very windy and quite dreich and grey out there, but we are going to head up towards the Granite and then down into the Borders, which is a route that has been on the channel before, but not one I have done since July 2023, I believe. I'll fact check that. This was the last time I did it. So with that in mind, all I'm really going to focus on today is enjoying it, efficiency, and just trying to get back into a rhythm of spending a decent amount of time at Zone 2, fueling and feeling comfortable whilst incorporating a little bit more climbing than the brief amount of outdoor riding I've been doing thus far. I've been back on the bike for 2 weeks and so far so good, no pain in my hip, and I'm thinking that I'm about 2, maybe 3 weeks away from giving 5 kilometers or so of running a go, waiting for an update from the physio and the orthopedic consultant as to when I can exactly do that, but things are looking good. Bike volume this week, 165 kilometers, slowly ramping it up by about 10% each week towards the sort of 300-kilometer mark as we get towards November, and then I'm going to hold there ahead of some big, exciting events that I may or may not have announced on the channel at this point, so I'm going to keep it vague with that in mind, sorry. So without any further ado, let's begin. Well, that was a pretty wet, windy and quite soul-destroying section to get to here. We missed a turning, which meant that we haven't been with the car for ages. So we have done 36 kilometers to this point, and ironically, the weather was much, much worse up until now. Did you get any footage whilst... No, he didn't. So Jacob didn't get any footage to demonstrate how bad the weather was from within the car whilst we were out suffering in it on the bike. So everybody comment down below, boo Jacob, boo Wendy Testerberger.
Boo Wendy Testerberger, boo!
Anyway, settled into a good rhythm now, and we are finally at the point where we are going to head up towards the Granite, which are those big hills over there, which take us up and over into the Scottish Borders. It's pretty quiet. I mean, it's not the nicest of mornings. I can't imagine people are going to be out and their families rushing to the beach, shall we say, but this is Scotland in August, everyone. 23-mile-an-hour winds, 12 degrees feels like 6, sideways rain, but beautiful green hilly pastures and lots of cows. Cows and sheep in perfect harmony, unlike us with the weather. That is disharmony. So now that I've waffled on about how we're getting on and filled you in on what the past 36 kilometers look like, I think it's time that we took on the biggest hill of the day, the Old Man of Granite. Those are some of the most variable weather conditions I've ever experienced in my life. And whilst we all did go boo Jacob, boo Wendy Testerberger earlier, we did then get the horrendous weather that we experienced on the way to that part on camera. So I'm pleased about that at the very least. This is the man that looks after my bikes.
Right, shite. How are you getting on, man?
How you good? You can see it.
Yeah. I thought it was you.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
Who else would be chatting shit in front of a Cervelo that hasn't been serviced since you last saw it?
Let's have a look.
It's in good nick, although there is something that needs changed on it. Anyway, the whole reason that we ride bikes is for sweet treats and coffee. So I'm going to go and have some sweet treats and coffee. But one thing to flag is just how lacking in confidence I am on the descents in terms of bike riding skills, getting back used to it today. Soaking wet, piss wet at the start for that first 36k, and there were some pretty technical descents, some corners and things that I was a bit jittery and unhappy on, to be honest. Just getting back into the swing of things. Obviously confident on a bike, but it has been a while since I've taken technical corners at speed in the rain. So I'm glad that we are about to settle down, take a breath, and then tailwind the whole way home, baby. Good news, all 3 bikes have not been stolen. We were just laughing at the fact that Innerleithen is just down the road from Glentress, which is that way, which is like the mountain biking capital of Scotland. Big accolade, that one. And that means that it's a biking focused town, which means that either leaving bikes unattended would be very safe or easy pickings. I'm not quite sure, but our bikes are still here, which is good news. So hopefully we've got a tailwind the whole way back up that long climb, and then the way I always view this ride is when we get to the Scottish Borders sign and descend back towards Edinburgh, the ride's effectively over. You're just seeing it in. I am very cold now that having been soaked through and settled down, going to be zone 4 climb to get the temperature back up. Let's go. Bonjour. Ça va bien. Et tu? Oui. Wonderful day out. What an absolutely fantastic reminder of the reality that I choose to spend most of my time in Scotland, as it's nice to get bashed about by the weather every once in a while. It's tough to get moving, and to be honest, I'm glad that I didn't check the updated weather forecast this morning, because I probably wouldn't have wanted to get out there and might have defaulted to the turbo trainer. So I'm really pleased that I did. 112.5 kilometers data on the screen for you just now. Chill pace for the most part, although the climbs were pretty punchy towards the end. Definitely felt some spice. Ainsley Harriott has probably been on the screen, or will be.
Spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
Elliot, editor's notes for you there. Really pleased to just be out there cruising and feeling solid. I think aerobically I feel in a great place, which is nice. So all the work that I've done on the turbo whilst recovering from injury has been suitably adaptive, which is good news. Definitely feel a little bit out of practice on the climbs, definitely feel a little bit heavier than I'd like to, but we're all working. Well, I am working on all of that. We're all working. I don't really see how my brain got there. Anyway, I'm chipping away at those things to sort of balance everything out, so I'm feeling great. So really pleased with that. I think just a nice reminder that getting bashed about by the weather, the hardest part is getting out of the door, and some of you watching may have, I don't know, bumped a run for the treadmill, bumped a bike for the turbo, bumped an open water swim for the pool, might have defaulted to a gym session, might have skipped leg day. The irony that I'm currently skipping leg day due to injury, not choice, so don't come throwing that back at me, because I have a valid excuse. Anyway, that is today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have done, please drop it a like down below, hit subscribe whilst you're in the vicinity. Otherwise, I will send this weather your way. And by this weather, I mean the weather from earlier, not this, because this is actually quite nice, but just hit subscribe and then I can stop talking about all this. Ding that little bell icon whilst you're in the region, and please share your thoughts, feelings, and or insights and what you're currently training for in the comments down below, so we can all hype each other up, because I'm feeling pretty hyped after a wonderful morning out on the bike. How do you say goodbye in French? Au revoir.